Divine greetings, entities, energies, lovelies, bodies of light, the seekers and sojourners of truth. 144, the chosen of the chosen few, my third degree chosen ones. You know who you are. I greet you all in the love that lights the truth from my heart to yours. I am Celestial Earth in this divine energy essence of it all, as usual, reporting to you live from no other place that I would rather be than in 5D. Welcome, welcome, all those who are coming into alignment with the true timeline. If you're coming from the ideal time to the real time, or the real time to the true timeline, either way, as long as you're evolving, welcome, welcome. All right. As usual, I bring you the news to infuse, if you so choose to infuse with this light grid activation. And remember, it's all choice. So if you don't, that's fine. But be prepared to be fried on the grid. If you're going against the light, when you're going against the light, you're clashing with the light. If you don't choose to infuse, then you refuse the light grid, the light codes, and we activating. So, and the more of us that activate it, the more active the light grid becomes, and the more it reaches out to touch you, to touch your life, light beings. All right. So, with that said, let me get right into this. Happy 9/9 portal. Happy 9/9 portal day. And this is for the main collective. This is not like the split like I did before. This is the main collective. Whose month is September. Day is the 9th day, so it's a 9/9 portal, right, within the 8 universal year. And I'm gonna get into all of that. Before, let me say this now. I got a little house cleaning, a little sweeping up to do. So first things first, I got to be careful when I say that, because the next thing be in my head is eye popper. And Kim already done found me out on another video. So with that said, let me first thing, if you haven't already done so, please remember to like, subscribe, share, comment if you dare. If you don't know what to say, leave some emojis so we can continue to get the algorithms going and reach out to those of our star seeds in remote places. Remembering that that is how a lot of you came on, because of others who have paid it forward by just pressing the like button. So continue to pay it forward. All right. And with that, another thing to remember, the calendars. There are still 3 people that I'm waiting on for the calendars. Rhonda Calvin, I Am, and Stacy Holder to send me your information so I can get those to you. Please look in the description link anywhere, whether in this video or in previous videos, to send me the information into my email information. All of the information to order the calendars are in the description. And that's with that. The next thing is, here's a little bit of housekeeping from the previous video. I did say that it was a 1616 portal that is not on the calendar. That was my mistake. That was before. I didn't know. And when I went back and checked, I was like, oh, okay, that was before we did a recall, revise, and reprint to send to you all. So before that, it wasn't on that calendar. But the revised calendar that was sent to you all does have the 16 on there. So you don't have to etch in nothing. But do still keep your ears and eyes open for when I remind you of another portal. If I highlight or it's shown to me, then I would tell you, and you could just pencil it in. But the 1616 portal is in the calendar every 16th day of that month, right? So with the new calendar. Anything else? Another correction that I mentioned in that calendar, I remember saying that the day of double, there was a parallel day of portals, and I just want to have a little correction on that, or clarification, that the day of doubled portals is for the true timeline people to experience both days. So when I was speaking of double portaling, it was mainly for those who are in a true timeline that are utilizing the portal of that day, which was for the 9/6 for everybody else, and the 16/16 really and truly they were having we were having a triple double day, because that's their 9-6. We had our own 9-6 of being in the 6th month and the 9th year, as well as the 16-16. So it really was a triple. But when I mentioned double, it was for both, for us, being able to experience a portal in both timelines, whether in ours or the other. And the only way that it would stretch to the other, to the main collective, is if they reach, if somehow through this portaling they're able to reach through and gain more of an understanding, or tap into the other timeline, then they too can experience it. But that depends on how they're reaching through. So little clarification on that part, because even when I listened back to it, it was like, okay, what? Clarify. All right, so clarify, verify. So with that said, back to our today's portal. So let's talk about this 9-9 portal, right? And the theme of it really is that it's a spiritual completion within the infinite existence. And I'm going to give you the download that I got on that. You may see me fighting off these blood-sucking vampires. You know, I gotta really, you may see me doing um, more daytime videos, because in the night, as soon as it gets like sundown, they start coming out, they start attacking. So you may see me fighting them off. um, so the 9-9 portal, for those who don't know about portaling, as I've mentioned before, there's pre-portal work. I always feel like I have to mention that, so that we remember it's not a magical wand. It's not like, ooh, portal day, we getting some gift bags handed out to us. The gift is going to be whatever you make it. The gift that's being handed out is dependent upon you and your pre-portal and work, meaning, have you been doing your shadow work? Have you been doing your soul exfoliation? These things I'm going to keep reminding us of. The more you do it, because the more I remind you, the more you're prepared to be pre-portaled up for the next portal. And as you can see, sometimes these portals come back to back. We just had one a couple days ago, and now we're at the 9-9, and it depends on what timeline you're in. Being in the true timeline, we experience a lot more portaling, because there's a portal from the main collective, and then there's a portal from the emerging collective, which is us, right? um and a reminder too, the way the portals are set, as I always say, it's the it's the collective consciousness that opens these portals. It's where we are in our collective consciousness on certain timelines that open these portals. And these are how the energetic hotspots find us. These are energetic hotspots that are an opportunity for us to tap in to some energy boost, so to speak. And depending on what the numbers are of that portal, they kind of give a theme of what we are portaling through. And again, even that is the collective consciousness, because it's what the collective consciousness understands and interprets the numbers by. This is how energy gets to us. It's through our understanding. This is why they say, you know, God will never give you more than you can bear. The divine will never give you more than you can bear. Energy, angles of light, will never give us more than we can bear. So it's going to come in ways that is according to our level of understanding collectively, what we know numbers to mean. Even if there's some of you out there who don't know anything about numbers, there is a collective that you can probably find books on what certain numbers mean, right? And they may mean slightly different things for some people, but generally they kind of are the same, right? Like, for example, the number 5. 5, as I say, usually represents physical and spiritual balance. And some people would say 5 represents change. And I say it's both. In order to have physical, spiritual balance, there has to be change, right? So there's some type of change, radical change that happens when you have a physical, spiritual balance. You're not just going to come to balance without no change, right? So if you kind of look at the words, this is why we can't let words separate us. But either way, I say all that to say it's all about the collective, what we collectively believe in and understand to be true, and understand through our level of interpretation. That is how the energies reach us. So according to these hot spots, and they are wherever there are repetitive numbers. So according to the Gregorian calendar, which is what most people use, whenever there are repetitive numbers or palindrome numbers, these are some type of portals, or, you know, numerological energetic hotspots according to us. We, the collective, has opened it up because there's something being repeated, you know, in our mind. We know of it as, oh, 9999. So energetically in the in our auric field, information field, right? Information is everywhere. We send that vibration out and we pretty much play a part in these portals being open to us. So that's to explain that for those who may have not heard it before, or maybe I'm saying it differently and you're hearing it differently now. So with that, let me jump right into the explanation of this 9-9 portal, which is spiritual completion within the infinite existence. So the spiritual completion is 9, for those who don't know. 9 is the spiritual completion. Infinite existence is 8. And so as I go on with this, you'll see why. I'll explain why the 8 is involved in this. And some of you probably already guessed we're in a universal year of 8, and there's a little bit more to that as well. So this day, follow me, let's go. This day is a spiritual completion, right? This day is a spiritual completion within a month of spiritual completion. So it's a day 9 spiritual completion within the month 9 spiritual completion, which is within a year of 8 as a repetition of infinite existence. So the infinite existence also equals repetition. Hear that thunder coming in, right? So we have a 9-9 within that 8 year, right? And this double 9, hear this double 9 is 18, which also reduces to 9. So there is like a third-party verification, right, of this spiritual completion. So you have the 9-9, and when you have 9 and 9, that makes 18. And then there's that another whisper of 9. Third-party verification. So it's being verified how much this 9 is, right? So with that verification of this 9 as a spiritual completion, it's holding that understanding down for us. Also, the code number of this day confirms the infinite existence for the universal year of 8. So the code number for this day is, if you add up the days, when you hear me say code number, it's usually add up all the days, right? Every single digit in this day, meaning 9-9-2024. Add up every digit and you're going to get 26, which reduces to an 8, right? So this also it echoes and it confirms the infinite existence of the universal year of 8. And as such, we are clearly looking at a spiritual completion within this infinite existence. So that's where you're seeing it. There's the 9-9 with the whisper of 9, right, within the year of 8, and also as a universal code, the universal code number for that day when you add up all the digits is also 8. So you have that 8 being echoed as well. So we're seeing this dance with the number 9 and 8, but either way, we're seeing a spiritual completion. We're seeing a spiritual completion that is obviously within our infinite existence. What is the repetition that's been happening? That's what I hear when I hear the echo. What has been happening, and what is the completion to be made, right? And and I'm going to go deeper into that as well. Do I have a visitor? All right, so the message, let's go into the message of this. The message here is clearly aligning us with and understanding in the feelings that we have about some things that are coming to an end in a particular area in our lives. So that's this message. It's like clearly there's some things coming to an end. Some of us are feeling it. Some of us are, thank you. Some of us are feeling it, but it's to come to an understanding. We're coming into an alignment of having this understanding of the feelings we've been getting. Like, man, something's coming to an end. Something is over for me. We may not even be thinking about it like that, but you feel it. And for some of us, it may feel good. For some of us, it's like, good, about time. I'm over that. And for some people, it may be like a little tug of war in our emotions, in our emotional box, because it may be something that we've grown fond of, or something that we're used to. Something that we're not quite ready, or we don't want to get rid of, or it's sad to see it go, right? So, but you know that it's coming to an end. Now, how we deal with it depends on, us, which I'm going to get further into. So, definitely the message here clearly falling into alignment with things coming to an end, particular areas of our lives, mainly because we have come to a full completion in that particular lesson, right? And it is time to give birth and move on, right? This is the 9, right? Completion, 9, full circle. So that 9, which is the feminine, right, is usually a circle, right? A circle is a 360. I mean, I could go into that too. A circle is a 360. That 360, the 3 and the 6 is a 9. So that 9, this number is really important. This infinite 9 is what I call it. Infinite number of 9. As the light is going down, let me make sure I give it some more light here. Light up. All right, as I'm losing my natural light. But the number, and look at it so you see for yourself. You just don't take my word, but there's a 360. That's the circle, the full complete circle. So this is why when a woman comes to full term at what? 9 months. 9 is this completion, and at this completion it's time to give birth. It's time to give birth and let it go. Have that baby already, right? For some of us, in the Jamaican culture, they have a saying of you keeping feel like, say you holding up feelings about something. They'll say, "Oh, how long you was carrying that belly for?" Oh no, drop the belly, like drop that stomach, drop that belly, the baby being born, birth that emotion that you've been holding for however long. It's time to give birth to those emotions. Let it go. Right? So 9 is that completion. You've come to a fullness of your lesson. You have riped in your lesson. If you choose to see that, the lesson has been fulfilled. But now how we deal with it is on us, because we could fulfill a lesson, but we may still not be ready to let go. Right? So not because this is a spiritual completion that it's everyone's going to experience it the same. It depends on what you're willing to let go of, and do you even see your lesson coming to a fullness, or are you holding on to something with a vice grip and you refuse to see it, that it's over, because the lesson is over. You got what you needed to get, and now it's time to release, right? So this is where I say it's time to give birth and move on, least you decide to stay there and repeat, which is the shadow of the 8. Ooh, let's pay attention to that. There is a shadow of the 8. The 8 is about repetition, and it's repetition because when you're on an infinite existence, which we are as infinite beings, we are constantly repeating. There's nothing wrong with repetition, but it's how we're repeating. Some things are repetition in a way where it is here to teach you. It's being repeated so that you catch the pattern and say, okay, it's time for me to loop out of this. Some things are on repetition to be a confirmation for you and to highlight something to you, right? So the shadow, though, of the 8, the shadow of this repetition is seeing this, choosing to stay there, right? Even though something is being repeated and you're being guided to let this go and move on to the next, if you choose to hold on to it, that is a shadow of the 8, and you're going to bar yourself. You're going to keep yourself in the infinite loop, and that is per your unhealed wound. Because believe me, the more healed you are, the more you will be of a more spiritual maturity, and you will be ready to let go. But that depends on your level of healing, which I'm going to say that depends on your level of revealing. The more you have accepted, and I'm going to say that depends on your level of feeling, right? The more you accept the feeling that reveals to you what is, then you accept the revealing. And the more you accept the revealing of what is being shown to you, then you can receive the healing. And that healing is lesson learned, move on, right? It's not miracle healing like, oh, I'm going to feel better. It does feel better, but the healing equals moving on. You have healed when you can move to the next level, when you level up and move to the next degree, right? Or when you can pull yourself out of a deficit. or out of any dis-ease in your mind or body, then you have healed, right? Which means you have allowed the revelation to take place. You've had the revealing, which means you've allowed the feeling. So first things first is let go of those feelings. Be vulnerable and know that it's time to let this go, whatever it is. So whatever it is you might be tangling up with, you might be tossing with, you might be feeling the woe of, let me just keep it simple. You feel something coming to an end. Completion, right? But if you choose to keep it and stay there, you stay on repeat, and that repeat will be in the infinite karmic loop that keeps you open and available to the database and the parasitic energy according to and per your unhealed wounds, right? And so that's just somewhere where some of us don't want to be. Most of us, I want to say, if you found this channel, that's not where you want to be, right? It's something I heard in the previous video too, like those who are on the lower ends are in, what did I say? Ideal time reality. That's like the low vibrational of the 3D, the shadows of the 3D. And when I heard it, I was like, and come to find it, they won't find this channel. So I didn't even need to mention that. If you're really on those low vibrations, you won't find this channel, or this channel won't appeal to you. You wouldn't even sit here long enough to hear what I'm saying right now at 21 minutes. I'm saying. So I don't even have to worry about that. It wasn't a worry anyway, but when I thought about it, I was like, I didn't even have to mention that. But I guess for us to know these different levels, or where you may see of these lower levels at, and people who choose to be there, that's their choice, and they're going to stay there. And I say this to us too, because we don't realize how sometimes we choose the shadows of the 8 and to stay on repetition and hold on to our karmic infinite loop, right? And this is very important right now, being that of where Pluto is. And let me not get ahead of myself, because I know I mentioned Pluto coming up, and I needed to highlight that. So that's a shadow of the 8. This spiritual completion is the graduation, where this spiritual completion is the graduation that we choose when we unlearn to relearn through the revelations of truth, Pluto, right? That have been repeated on a, it's like I want to stop and talk about, okay, I'm gonna get back to Pluto. Let me clarify this first. Let me finish this. So this spiritual completion is the graduation we choose when we unlearn to relearn through revelations of truth, which is Pluto, that have been repeated on constant replay throughout this year, to highlight what has been misappropriatedly manifested through the universal year of 7 last year into the repetition of this infinite existence of the universal year 8. So let me clarify that. What I'm saying is that this spiritual completion we're in is a graduation, and it's a graduation for those of us who choose to do what? Unlearn to relearn. And we do that through the revelations of truth that we've been getting. And a lot of us have been getting them heavily for the past month, even hell, for the past year. We've been knocked with it. When we went through the double full moon in Capricorn, that was another revelations we were getting that was bringing us through a season of accountability, right? From January, we were getting hit with revelations when Pluto went into Aquarius. So it's all these revelations of truth we've been getting. Now is a graduation time for those who chose to unlearn. If you chose to unlearn and relearn through these truths, right? And these are the truths that have been repeated and on constant replay throughout the year that I just mentioned. Constant replay throughout this entire year. And it was highlighting what has been misappropriatedly manifested, because last year was the universal year of 7, and 7 is about manifestation. So what has been manifested, what has been showing up? When I say manifested, I'm not just talking about your happy manifestations. What has been showing up and prevalent in your life since last year? Like you've been hearing me say, look at what happened since March of 2023, right? When Pluto hit into Aquarius and when Saturn hit into Pisces, that was a major month, a major cosmic shift type month. What has been happening since then that has been manifested and showing up in your life, right? Through that year, right? And into the repetition of this year. So coming into this year, don't think we get away from last year and oh no, this year is going, put it on the replay. Put it on the replay. Everything that was manifested, that showed up, that you may be trying to avoid or ignore or deny, put it on replay. Repetition, repetition. To some things come up and you like, dog, I thought I got over this. Why is this showing? Yeah, because you did not process the emotions, or you did not do what you needed to do with that revelation. You did not loop out whatever it is. You did not hold yourself accountable, and the energies are, this is the grace of the universe, of God. The energies are giving you opportunity after opportunity upon opportunity to work through this. And right now we are on one of our last stretch of that, with Pluto being back at 29 degrees in Capricorn, right? So now I want to speak on that a little bit about Pluto, because Pluto is really giving us the time right now, as I've mentioned, between now and November, to really look at. So when I'm talking about unlearn to relearn, take this part very seriously. We have this small amount of time. So utilize this spiritual completion. The days like today, this day is that we're portaling through, is like a speed bump. Hump, like, hey, whoa. Look at your spiritual completion. Look at the lessons that have been coming up to you. This is your opportunity to take this graduation. You have a choice. This is a choice point for us. Some of us through this portal, this is a choice point. You can choose to continue to repeat. You can choose to hold on to something that you know you are learned the lesson. You see what it is and you can feel it falling away from you. But you can choose whether to allow it to fall or hold on to it. Collectively and globally, a lot of us can choose that all of this that we're seeing, we see that politics is a lie. We see a lot of things that's not making no sense. We can choose to let it go, or we can choose to keep holding on to a system that is falling away, right? And that will be to our detriment. But either way, it's a choice point for all of us at this point in our time. So this spiritual, this portal, don't just look at it like, yay, I got it. If you don't make the choice to get it and to choose to receive it and release what needs to be released, then you don't have it. What you may be doing is locking yourself into the shadows of that universal year of 8 and continuing to be on repeat and replay, right? So with that, let me go right into the next part. Is there anything else on Pluto? Just to know that Pluto is that planet of death to rebirth, transformation, and that's the revelations that we're having. And we have to have these revelations to empower us. It's about giving us our personal power. In order to get that personal power, we have to have the revelation of truth. Truth is what frees you. So truth is what gives you that personal power that you need to say, no more of this, right? And that allows you to tap into that Uranus energy, right? These outer planets are all closing things out right now. Pluto, Uranus, Neptune, they're all at the end, 27, 28, and 29 degrees, right? And they're all helping us close some things out right now in a major way, not just for this lifetime, but for previous life. Like multidimensionally, this is really helping a lot of us out if we choose to infuse with the light codes and the angles of light and the love that lights the truth within, and if we choose to do what needs to be done, right? So with that, let me go into the next part. So as the veils continue to come down, now this was more of a download type message for the ones, for us, the ones. As the veils continue to come down, ones are finding their personal power through these revelations of truth and holding themselves accountable with right recourse and response, right? Not reacting, but responding, being in a place of response. They are detaching from personal holds in the old paradigm by releasing their ego attachments and finding true connectivity in the trinity of their divinity, right? So finding their higher selves, when we remember our higher selves. They are remembering the power of their threefold being and finding their spiritual blueprint for their soul to behold. Right? This is the unfolding of the manifold of time and requires true diligence to acquire and proclaim. For us to claim forth, claim for. It takes true diligence, right? This is the unfolding of the manifold. What's happening now is an unfolding. What is this unfolding? Us detaching from our personal holds, the veils that are coming down, and they're coming down, and we're seeing clearly with a new set of eyes, with true sets of eyes. And that's what's helping us. Also, we're being in this space where the veils, after all the revelations have been happening, it's been chipping away and pulling away the veil. And with those of us in this collective that are raising our vibrations, we are in higher altitudes, therefore the air is thin, therefore the veils are thin, and we are thinning the veils. So more of the veils are coming down, and people are seeing these, whatever revelations that happened in March, they saw it differently in January, they saw it differently in the double full moon Capricorn, they saw it differently last month when walking through the halls of Amenti, and that was a big deal last month with the 888 portal and walking through the halls of Amenti. So a lot of us, with the illusions that we're breaking down, we're breaking up the distorted memories in our memory complex. So a lot right now is easier to see with a different set of eyes. So don't be afraid to go back and look at some stuff, and don't be too much in yourself where you're like, I did that already. Go back, because there's a new set of specs, right? Respect, re-look, respect your soul. Go back and re-look at your soul's work, and trust and believe you have a new, different set of eyes. I've seen it with a lot of people. It's like, I'm seeing this differently. I've heard it from some of the star seeds in our group, in our community group, and it's like, I'm seeing this differently, especially since the last month. So please, I do invite you, go back and look at it. Look back at it, right? No pun intended, but look back at it, right? And go ahead and proclaim what's yours. And we're remembering our threefold being. When we remember, we become a part of the remembering. We have a soul synapses, and we remember who we are and what we're here for, right? And that is a spiritual completion, if I ever seen one, on this infinite existence, right? We are again regaining access to our infinite existence when we unlock and we come out, when we unlearn to relearn, and we come out of these holds from the old paradigm. This is the shakedown that we're getting with Pluto these past 2 months. Please utilize this 9-9 portal to catapult you through, if you haven't already done so. If you haven't done any of the work that I've mentioned before, and if this is the first time you're hearing this, utilize this day to catapult you through. I would definitely invite you to do some soul work. Definitely sign up for the workshop. I'm going to mention that before I close out. I also should have mentioned that in the beginning. The workshop that is coming up with the full moon. This is a 7-day workshop, and it's going to help with a lot of the things that you hear me talking about right now. The shadow work, the soul exfoliation, the soul excavation, the tapping into your subconscious so you can know what is there and identify it. If you don't know what's there, then how can you transcend it, right? When I talked about us understanding the dualities, breaking out of illusions of separation and the illusion of the misappropriated duality. So as we regain access to our infinite existence, we're also regaining access to the understanding of the creative duality. There is a such thing. We are a part of this creative duality. And when you understand that, especially when you do this workshop, by the time we work with each chakra, 7 days, because it's 1 day for each chakra from the root going up. And by the time we get to the third eye, we are transcending from the throat to the third eye. We're transcending the duality, especially at the third eye. This is where we're transcending the duality and what we've come here for. We came into this duality to find the patterns. The dualities that are there are providing us the backdrop. It's providing us the challenges that we need in order to find the patterns to come out of these karmic traumas or these karmic loops to, in order to elevate, evolve, and have the soul ascension that we came here to have. Ultimately, it's about remembering. It's about coming in to forget in order to truly remember and reintegrate with your soul and transcend. And the level of transcending you do, the level of integrating you do, determines the degrees. There we go with degrees again. These are the degrees of the angles of light that we have come here to be and to shine. Right? So I invite you, if you haven't done it, please look out for the flyer. If you don't even see the flyer and you just want to sign up right now, email me. I put the information, my email below. But begin signing up now, because we start Saturday. Saturday coming up will be the first day we will be on our root chakra, and that will be the first day of this full moon transmutation, right? We do a whole pyramid transmutation. There's so many tools that you get that you can keep with you and use for a lifetime, and you can utilize it every month. I do this workshop only 4 times a year, but you can take the tools and you can utilize them every month. And a lot of people come back. Those who do come back, they find that we come together because it holds us accountable. When we do it together and we do meet, it holds accountability, and we always learn something new. So it does feel good to do it together, but you have the tools where you can do it every full moon. So I really invite you to look out for that workshop. It's called the Divine Chakra Moon Workshop, and this one is going to be a full moon in Pisces. Whoop, whoop. That's my North Node, South Node axis, so I know it's going to be working tightly with me. All right, and if you have a North Node, South Node axis, it will be working tightly with you as well, or any placements for that matter, Sun and Moon especially, with the nodes. So I plug that in there so that you know this is how we say yes to the universe. The universe says yes to you, and don't worry about if you don't have the funds. When you see the flyer, don't worry if you feel this is for you. Email me. Don't worry about having the funds, because I believe in reciprocity in many ways. There's energetic reciprocity as well. So if you see the price and you feel like, well, I don't have it, don't let that stop you. If just what I want you to ask yourself is this for me? Am I ready for this? Am I in a position where I'm ready to tap into my subconscious, where I'm ready to fulfill the next level of my destiny? Where I'm ready to excavate my soul, do the shadow work, all these things that are necessary that helps us to unfold in the manifold of time. This is the process when we practice releasing, transmute, transcend, transmit, so we can have a true releasing, letting go, in order to truly release our soul, as in not let go, but you know how you lease something like a house or a car? Yeah, your new lease, to release your new lease in your soul, right? So release to release to release, if that makes sense, right? It's the beauty to behold, right? And the glory that our soul unfolds. I love it. Anyway, with that said, through this opportunity, came my own handwriting, though, this is a note to know, though this opportunity is available to all, very few will take full advantage of this advancement in the soul's ascension. But the light warriors are finding the way, right? And I'm not talking about the workshop, but that applies to the workshop too. I'm talking about the portaling, the 9-9 that I was speaking about, the spiritual work coming out of the shadow of the 8, out of that infinite loop, right? This 9-9 portal, this spiritual completion that is within the infinite existence. This is an opportunity, and it's available to all. Everyone can tap in if they so choose. Though it is available, very full, very, very few, though, will take that advantage. That is the advancement of what? Our soul's ascension. AAA, y'all. AAA. Advantage, advancement, ascension. In that order. All right, so with that said, I wrapped it up. I'm going to leave it right there and get out of here before the vampires, keep getting at me. Anything else before I go? Reminder, please remember, if you made it this far, maybe you missed the beginning. So if you are Rhonda Calvin, I am, and Stacy Holden, please send the information. If you haven't gotten your 5D calendar, now's the chance. Get to the 5D corner near you. The description will be below or in another video, whichever way you choose to go. Right? And please remember to sign up. Look out, Soul Tribers, look out for the next workshop that is coming up, right? To a soul corner near you. On the 14th will be the first day. So look out for that and sign up. With that said, love you all. You're all positive vibrations in my heart. Each one, reach one, teach one. If you don't know where to start, start in your big, beautiful heart and shine your light from the inside out. Be the candle that lights the next one, and the next one. Peace, love, and light.